Good morning. It's a chilly winter morning. It's about 37 degrees, and we are out at the Trinity River Audubon Center in South Dallas. I will post maps, directions, links, and all that in the comments below. And we've just got here. You have to pre-purchase tickets due to the pandemic because they have limited staff. So on the website, you can go purchase the tickets. It has all the pricing and everything. Parking, and then you come out, you can see the visitor center back up behind me. We've come down this boardwalk over a little marsh and a pond to get started. There's quite a bit number of trails. The only thing about the trails, they're in good shape, but the website mentions that if there have been recent rains that they may be muddy. The gentleman informed me today that the trails are in pretty good shape overall. I'll also put a link for a downloadable PDF map that you can print up and bring with you or have on your phone or tablet or whatever. So we're going to head off. There's a number of different trails. As you come down from that main boardwalk, there's an intersection here. There's one trail that goes off straight behind me that takes you to some ponds, and then if I turn around, this other trail goes the opposite direction. It goes through the wetlands area. So there's the forest trail, the wetlands trail. There's about 8 or 9 ponds out here, some marshy area. If you go down this trail behind me, you can get to the Trinity River and overlook it. So it's got quite a variety of trails and options to go explore and look. So we're going to head off and see what we can see. Well, we came out of the visitor center and turned right to the trail that says Forest Trail, also has a Trinity River Overlook. Came down, and I'll point some of the signs out in a little bit, but there's little signs and markers to let you know where you're going as you wander along. And when you come down to the Trinity River Overlook here, as you can see behind me, there are several nice benches, a recycling bin, and then a sign with information about various animals that you might see out here: snakes, birds, and even some of the fish in the river. And then behind me, with a nice little fence, so hopefully you don't walk off, a nice view of the Trinity River flowing behind me. Of course, being the dead of winter, all of the trees are bare and brown, so not particularly pretty this time of year, but you can probably hear there are songbirds all around. We've already seen several cardinals, chickadees, sparrows, other songbirds flitting around the woods. So even in the winter, lots of good opportunities for spotting birds and such. So very pretty. The trails are in good shape, easy to walk on, smooth. So it's good for, if you're going to come out and walk and hike. I imagine that if you come back out in the spring when everything's green, it's going to be even prettier out here. So we're going to wander around some more, see what else we can see. Well, after leaving the Trinity River Overlook, we came back up and turned left, go down the Forest Trail a little bit. We've come by several ponds, including behind me, as you can see, Raccoon Pond. Then if I turn this way, up on the hill is the big visitor center, which is closed again right now for, as I mentioned, for the pandemic. Hopefully it'll be open again before too much longer. The trails, I'm going to get blinded by the sun so you can see this. Let's turn this way, are in really good shape. They're packed dirt and gravel, crushed rock, so really easy to walk on, in good condition. So far we've seen quite a few songbirds, some woodpeckers, several of these little ponds. Haven't seen any waterfowl. I've seen some flying overhead, some cormorants, ducks. We saw some egrets as we were coming in, driving in. We haven't encountered them in the ponds yet, but this is really very pleasant, very nice. Great for, obviously this is not something you're going to do for fitness hiking because you have to pay to come in. Unless you want to get a membership, you can get a membership, then you could come out free as much as you want, and it would be good for hiking that way. But as far as birding and animals and stuff, this is a really good place. The one drawback right now in the winter, and also with the pandemic, they're on very reduced hours. They're only open 5 days a week, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Saturday 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. So check on the website for the hours. Hopefully as we move through the pandemic, they'll be expanding their hours and allowing more time, but due to limited staff, they're very limited on their hours. So eventually we'll get through this and we'll be just fine. But this is a wonderful place so far, and I would imagine in the spring when everything is green, this is going to be really beautiful. So we're going to head back up toward the visitor center and then go back off down the Wetlands Trail a bit and see what's on that side. So we're kind of getting an overview of the park today, or the nature center. So we're going to move a little further and check out the other side and see what awaits us on that side. Well, we doubled back and now we're on the Wetlands Trail, and as the name implies, wetlands means it's going to be marsh and not as good of territory for hiking. So at least for the very beginning, as you can see, we've got this nice boardwalk, and as you can see behind me, it's marsh, wet and sloppy, so you wouldn't want to be walking in that. So far we've seen quite a few songbirds, and we're going to head up the Wetlands Trail. There are more ponds and trails this way, so we're going to wander this way and see what else we can find. But we came on around further on the Wetlands Trail and then turned off on Overlook Trail. It takes us to a nice little overlook that we'll be up to in a minute. We can look over the prairies. We're on the edge of the Prairie Trail, so we've got prairies all around us. Off to the distance, you can actually, through the trees, see some of the skyline of Dallas. I'll see if I get some photos of that and put them in so you can see. And as you can see behind me is a very nice little picnic table. Scattered throughout the center, there are a number of picnic tables, birding blinds where you can go look for birds, trash cans. As you can hear an airplane going overhead, we're close to Dallas, so you will get the noise of airplanes, and there are some train tracks relatively close. We heard when we first came in this morning, the train, but other than that, we haven't heard a lot. Occasionally you can hear some traffic. We heard some sirens, a police siren a few minutes ago, so we are close to Dallas, so you will get some sounds of the city. But it's really nice that you're surrounded by such an urban environment, but you feel like you're really out in the remote wilderness. There's the prairies behind me if I swing around that way. Seen birds, quite a few birds. Haven't seen any other wildlife, but because they're not open until 9 a.m., we're out here well after sunrise, so I didn't expect to see a lot of wildlife. But there are deer, coyote, feral hogs, bobcats, quite a variety of wildlife. And of course, if you come out in the spring and the summer when it's warmer, a number of reptiles as well. So quite a diverse variety of animals that are possible to be seen out here, depending on the various times of the year that you could come out. The trails are all in very good condition, so the hiking has been very pleasant. The scenery is a little brown this time of year, but I would expect in the summer and spring when it's all green, it's going to be very beautiful. So very good so far. Well, we finished out the day. We're headed out. As you can see the sign behind me, Trinity River Audubon Center. This is here on Loop 12, as you can hear all the traffic. It was a beautiful day. Didn't see a ton of birds, partially because of winter and also because of the later start with their later hours. Hopefully soon they'll get back to more regular hours. We can get out earlier, closer to sunrise, catch more animals, possibly more wildlife. So we'll be back again. We'll be posting more about this place. I'll get home, we'll edit this video and share some pictures, and see you next time. Thanks for coming along. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Have a wonderful day.